In this case, we would have two approaches for the customers in case they have already a project and they want to take some pages of the MB faceplate. So it is the first approach, copying and pasting screens and macros from the MB faceplate to the new project, or in case they start already with the MB faceplate. So we'll have two options here in case they will not use all the devices that are configured in the MB faceplate. So they can remove the device that they will not use or disable the device communications just to have the pages of the device that is not connected, but to not showing the error related to not having communications with this device. So let's see first the first approach, the new project. So here we will use the copy screen tool. So to copy and paste the screens and macros from the MB faceplate to the new project. Let me show you an example on how this is done with one of these device screens. In this case, I've used the KMN2. So first of all, as the network configuration is not copy and pasted with this tool, we have to recreate the configuration in the new project. So you can take the example of the MB faceplate and recreate it in the new project. So by drag and dropping the device, which in this case for the KMN2 is a Modbus RTU extend, and the cable, and connect it to the HMI. And by double clicking the device, you can customize the network settings. You can leave the ones from the MB faceplate, or in case you have a different Modbus address, you can, for example, double click and change it. Now we are ready to do the copy and paste of the screen with the copy screen tool, as I explained it before. In this case, for example, for the 111 page, which is the first page of the KMN2, you can set one page, this page, and to the new project. But you could also, I think there are two pages, so you could also use the copy multiple screens and copy the two pages at the same time. But again, like in the before example, first of all, copy the background page, because this 111 page has this background. And again, it will show in the new project this pop-up screen, which is the mapping between the PLCs from the source project, which is the MB faceplate, to the new project. In this case, it is very important to relate correctly the PLCs for the KMN2. In the MB faceplate is the PLC5, Modbus RTU extend, and in the new project is the one you configured, in my case, the PLC0. So when it shows the mapping for the PLC5, it is important to say the PLC0 and click OK. But it will ask also for all the other PLCs of the MB faceplate, and you can set the internal memories of the MB HMI and click OK. Then it will show also the possibility to map the memory addresses of the device. But in my case, as I didn't want to change it, I click OK and maintain the same mapping between the two PLCs of the MB faceplate and the new project. So click OK. And finally, remember to add the background configuration in the new screen. So once this is done, okay, yeah, that's all for copying and pasting pages from one page, devices from one page to another. Let's see now the following approach, which is using the same MB faceplate project. So the first possibility is to remove devices that the customer doesn't want to use. So we will go to see the pages related to the KMN2, to the tree view, which is this part, HMI and HMI section. And here you will see all the pages, which in this case we have from the 110 to the 118. So we will remove all these pages first of all, and then we can start removing the macros related to this device. In this page, I will show you which macros corresponds to which device, just to be practical. So we have, first of all, the macro one, the byte swapping, which is related to the OMRON TM interface, and the macro is collected in the page 30. Then we have the multifunction monitor macro, which is used for the MX2 and M1 inverters pages in 75. They are called in 75 and 77. Then we have the multifunction monitor RX2 macro, which is for RX2 inverter, and it is called in the 76 page. Then the 17 macro, the TM10 graph data, is called and is used for the E5 CC or DC temperature controller in page 85. And the last ones are very clear for which devices are. And finally, to complete the remove of the device, you have to go to the network view, and in here you have to delete the corresponding device. In this case, it's the PLC5 for the KMN2, but you can check it in the screens of the KMN2. In the objects, the memory address configured must be the PLC5. Then the following approach is to disable the communications to the devices that the customer will not use. So in this case, this is done easily in the connectivity section in the first page, in the main page, which is the 70 page, called network. And in here, this is achieved with the internal system addresses, the LW 9605 and 9606. With the bits of these memories, you can enable or disable communications with the devices configured in the project. So in this case, when the bit is in off status, means that you want to communicate with the unit. And in case you don't have the unit connected, it will show the error of not having communications. But if you want to avoid this error, you can disable communications with the unit. And you will click the switch button. It will open it, and it will put the bit related to these objects to on, which means that the communications is stopped.